Welcome back to TSC Connect. This is a 10-minute yoga mini flow which incorporates the scoliosis-friendly modification of the dancer's pose. If you haven't already, check out our explainer video in part 1 that breaks down this pose in detail. Enjoy!
From your seated pose, make your way to a tabletop position. Ensure your wrists are stacked under your shoulders and you have your knees about hip distance apart. Focus on your breath and lengthen evenly through all 4 sides of your waist. We're going to run through some cycles of our cat-cow variation. Starting only with the shoulder blades. As you inhale, draw your shoulder blades away from one another, drawing your navel in towards your spine. Exhale as you draw your shoulder blades towards one another, slightly lowering your chest. Inhale, draw your shoulder blades away from one another. Exhale, draw your shoulder blades back towards one another. Now bring your spine back to neutral, reset your foundation, and let's work on our pelvic tilt. As you inhale, think about gently tucking your tail as you softly round through your lower back. Exhale, lift your tail as you gently arch through your lower back. Inhale, tuck your tail. Exhale, untuck your tail. Come back to a neutral spine and let's apply this all together. Inhale, draw your shoulder blades away from one another as you tuck your tail, draw your navel into your spine. Exhale, draw your shoulder blades towards one another as you lift your tail. Inhale, shoulder blades away from one another, tucking your tail. And exhale, draw your shoulder blades towards one another, lifting your tail. Now steady your breath as we set your foundations for our downward dog. Step both of your feet back into a high plank. Have your wrists stacked under your shoulders, squeeze your glutes and activate your core. Take a nice big inhale, and as you exhale, push firmly through the palms of your hands and press back into your downward dog. We're going to hold here for 5 breaths. In your downward dog, activate your core by drawing your navel in towards your spine. To lengthen your spine, think about pressing your inner thighs to the back of the room as you root your sitting bones up towards the ceiling. You can also choose to pedal your legs out to deepen the stretch in your calves and hamstrings. Steady your gaze forward. Take a nice big inhale and step, hop or walk towards the front of the mat. Inhale, take a halfway lift and lengthen. Press your palms into your thighs. Exhale, hinge from the hips as you forward fold. Lengthen your spine, let your arms hang in front of you. Inhale, root to rise, reach your arms overhead. Exhale, slowly release your arms back down to your sides into your mountain pose. Now let's move through a sun salutation with our Surya Namaskar A together. Inhale, reach your arms overhead. Exhale, hinge from the hips as you forward fold. Inhale, take a halfway lift and lengthen. Exhale, slowly lower all the way, step back into a high plank. You can choose to use high knees or low knees. Lower all the way or halfway. And inhale to your baby cobra. Roll your shoulders back, keep your neck neutral to your spine. Exhale, push back into your downward dog and hold for 3 breaths. Steady your gaze forward, take a nice big inhale and step, hop or walk towards the front of your mat. Inhale, take a halfway lift and lengthen. Exhale as you forward fold, hinging from the hips. Inhale, reach your arms up overhead. And exhale, slowly lower your arms down by your side into your mountain pose. Today we're going to focus on our scoliosis modified dancer's pose. Start with your feet together and step your left foot back. Place your left hand on your left hip. Hinge your torso forward to keep your bell in line with your bowl. Sweep your right arm in front of you as if you were painting the wall in front of you. If you find it challenging to balance on one foot, you can choose to stay here. To proceed, ground through all four corners of your right foot and slowly hover your left foot off the mat. Lastly, see if you can bring your heel towards your bum, extending your left arm back to grab your ankle. Keep your core engaged and gently press your ankle into your hand to deepen the stretch on your left quad. Slowly make your way back to standing, release your foot, and let's do the other side. Feet back together, and this time step your right foot back. Place your right hand on your right hip, hinge your torso forward, and sweep your left arm out in front of you. Again, if you find it challenging to balance on one foot, you can choose to stay here. If you're proceeding, ground through all four corners of your front right foot and slowly hover your right foot off the mat. Bring your heel in towards your bum, extending your right arm back to grab your ankle. Keep your core engaged and gently press your right ankle into your hand to deepen the stretch on your right quad. Slowly make your way back to a standing position and release your foot back down to the mat. Let's go through one more flow before we reach our final stretches. Start at the top of your mat. Inhale, reach up, look up. Exhale, hinge from the hips as you forward fold. Inhale, take a halfway lift and lengthen. Exhale, lower all the way and step back into your high plank. Lower all the way or halfway and inhale to your baby cobra. And exhale, push back into your downward dog. Hold for 3 breaths. On your final breath, lower into your plank. Lower all the way to the mat and roll onto your back. For our bridge pose today, set your feet up so that they're about hip distance apart. Lengthen your spine into the mat beneath you. And also think about drawing your shoulder blades back into the mat. Bring your ankles in a little closer towards your sitting bones. Activate your core, squeeze your glute muscles, take a nice big inhale, and as you exhale, shift your pelvis up towards the ceiling. And hold for 3 breaths. Steady your breath and slowly roll down vertebrae by vertebrae. For our last stretch, we'll take a thread the needle. Again, have your knees about hip distance apart. You can lift your left foot and bring your left ankle across your right knee. If you're comfortable, stay here. To deepen your stretch, lift your right foot up and away from the mat and interlace your fingers behind the back of your right hamstring. To deepen your glute stretch, firmly press your left ankle into your right knee, pushing your right knee away from you. You can slowly release, and let's do the other side. This time bring your right knee up and over across your left knee. Again, you can choose to stay here, or you can lift your left foot up and away from the mat, and this time interlace your fingers behind your left hamstring. You can slowly release, place your feet back down on the mat, and take one final stretch of your choice before your final resting spot in Savasana. Choose a position that feels comfortable for you on your mat, whether it's lying on your back or with your legs together in butterfly. We'll rest here for the next few moments in our Savasana as we bring some steadiness and awareness to our breath and our surroundings. you can slowly begin to bring some awareness and steadiness back into your breath. You might want to bring some movements into your hands. You can wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes, stretch your legs out in front of you. When you're ready, you can slowly begin to make your way into a seated position that feels comfortable for you. Bring your hands into your heart center, bow your chin into your heart. I thank you for joining me in today's practice. Namaste.